Hey, Azsamad here, and today I want to show you guys what we have here is the NUX Stageman II AC-80 acoustic amplifier. Now this is a wonderful acoustic amplifier, and I've been personally using the AC-60, but today we have the AC-80. They're quite similar in terms of features. The main thing about the AC-80 is that it can run on batteries. So if you're busking, if you're performing outdoors and you do not have access to a line in to plug in for power, you can play this outdoors as well. It will run on the batteries as well. Now, I'm going to start off by telling you the features of this amp right on the amp itself, but there is also an application, an app that you can use on your phone to access even more features. But let's start with the amp first. So this is a 2-channel amplifier. So you have channel 1, which is meant for a guitar, for instrument line in, and then you have channel 2, which actually works for instrument and also XLR, which means that if you sing, if you rap, if you tell bad jokes, you can plug in your microphone into channel 2, and if you tell bad jokes while playing a guitar, you can plug in your guitar into channel 1. That's what I would do. On both channels, we actually have a 3-band EQ, separate independent 3-band EQ. We have bass, middle, and treble on the guitar channel on channel 1, and we also have bass, middle, treble on channel 2 as well. And we have gain, individual gain controls on both channels, so you can control the input level going into the amp, whether it's for your voice, for the microphone, or for the guitar itself. There's also effects. You can control your effects here and reverb. Effects. Usually for acoustic guitar, typically people use some kind of chorus. There's actually 12 effects that you can choose from the app itself, but the last 4 are like different reverbs. The first 8 like different kinds of chorus, and also the other effects like tape delay that you can use as well. Different kinds of delay. There's analog delay, I think, and tape delay as well that you can use. So you can control that, and those are separate. So you can have a separate kind of reverb setting on your voice on channel 2, and you can have separate reverb on your guitar. So if you want to sing and have more of that karaoke vibe, put more reverb on your voice, not so much on the guitar. On both channels, there's also a switch here. On the guitar switch here, you have normal, you have what's called finger and strumming. Normal means that it's a flat EQ. So if you like the sound of your guitar, for example, this one. Let's say I like that. I like the sound of my guitar. I'll just leave it on normal. But let's say I'm playing fingerstyle and I want a little bit of boost there. It should be in the midst. So you're going to hear a bit more of that. So let's say fingerstyle. Now if I put it flat, that's the sound of my guitar. A little bit EQ, seen. And there's also strum, which is better for strumming sounds. Now if I put it flat again, back to that normal thing. On the strum setting. So it's more of a preference thing. Some people might prefer just to have it on normal. Some people might prefer to have that on strum. Now, I perform a lot, and sometimes you might be performing in a room where you might not like how your guitar sounds like in the room. So if I'm playing this and I feel that there's too much mids, so I can just EQ here. I just put the treble up. Yeah, a bit more highs. I can do it all the way. Right now, just now everything was in the middle initially, so this is how it sounds like everything 12 o'clock. But if I put treble all the way up, you can get a little bit of that brightness. Or maybe I just want it to be very warm and I put the treble all the way down. So if I'm playing jazz or something, sometimes I might not want the highs as much. I might just want it to be duller sounding. But sometimes I might want that chiminess as well. So it depends. You can EQ it any way you want, and you can adjust it to the room as well. Also, for channel 2, there's 2 things that can happen here. One is you can actually put in your mic cable, XLR cable into here, and you have access to all the same features just now that I mentioned on channel 1. But if you happen to play guitar, like my guitar, I'm not doing it right now, but if you happen to have 2 outputs where you might have the magnetic pickup going through a separate mono out, just a normal guitar cable, and I have here a microphone and also transducers here. which means that I can run a stereo cable into one channel and I can run another mono in. If I have two outputs, if you use a two output system, and you might get some phasing issues. If you have any phasing issues, one thing you can do is there's a normal and phase switch right on the second channel itself. So that can help you out if you're using a dual output guitar system. Now, besides that, on the amp itself, you also have a master switch. So that's the main levels for both channels going out. Now, going at the back here, we have a whole bunch of different outputs. You actually have a USB, but that's to update the firmware. Whenever there's updates, there is a send and return as well. The send and return is great. If you already play with different multi-effects pedals, or you play with different effects pedals that you like to use in addition to the amp, you can actually use your effects and use the send and return so that you can incorporate that into the system as well. There is also a line out, which is an analog out. You can go straight into your audio interface. You can put it straight into like DI, or you can put it into just the mixer directly. That's possible. And there's also a DI out as well, which is an XLR out, which means that this is gate ready. You want to take the instrument out and record into a separate mixer, you can do that. You want to play directly without even a DI, I mean, you can go into the DI, or you can just sub the DI and you just use that and go into your board. You can do that as well.